In His grace, God gave us a sequential end-time timeline that was hidden in the Psalms for thousands of years, waiting to be discovered. It has now been revealed here at the last minutes of the church age. This channel discusses end-time prophecy from the unique perspective of the encrypted timeline in the Psalms. If you want to know where we are on the timeline, please subscribe and take some time to watch the other videos on this channel. Also, please consider purchasing a copy of Encrypted, Unlocking the Timeline Revelation in the Psalms. Not only will it help you to better understand the time we're living in, but it will also be a very important book to leave behind. God bless you. Okay, well, we are back, unfortunately. It's May 30th, and we have gone past what was a very interesting looking day, which was 5/28 or May 28th, and there was a lot of things that possibly converged on that day. And you know, we have always hesitated here, even we speculate. It's kind of fun to guess about stuff and all, but we don't usually do any date setting, and we didn't this time. It's just, I look at it this way: we are watchmen, or watch ladies, okay? Ezekiel 33 basically says that if you see something coming and you don't reveal it, then people's blood will be on your head. And so when we see something that's interesting, it is up to us to be obedient and just put it out there. I mean, whether it's something or it's nothing. And I'm starting to believe that the Lord is allowing a lot of false alarms, because we've had a lot of them. I mean, going back years now, we've had a lot of high watch days come and go, and it's like, wow, this has got a lot of promise to it, and we're excited. I mean, we are doing what the Lord said to do. Okay, we are awake, we are watching, we are waiting, we are sober, we are anxious, we are ready. You know, we are excited for His soon return, and we know we're in the season. Because, quite frankly, the stage is set. Everything's lined up and ready to go. I mean, when you look at, not just watch the news, but just look at history. For instance, look at 100 years ago. People would speculate about what the mark of the beast could be. Is it like what did they know? It's a tattoo, maybe, stamped on you or something like that. That's all really anybody could come up with at the time. Now when we talk about it, we have a plethora of options. Is it an RFID chip? Is it a quantum tattoo? Is it some scannable device? Is it something that they put in an injection? Is it a brain implant? Is it multiple things? Is it that, and that's another thing. It may not be just one thing. It may be that, the people with a lot of money get the brain implant, and the people who don't have a lot of money just get the thing on or in your hand or whatever. So we live in a time when it could be many things. And then when you think about that, that's pretty amazing. And the reality is that it's all right in front of us, and there are things that they probably have invented that we don't even know about, And then AI. So on my few minutes of time that I got to devote to just other studies this week, I don't know, it just seems like the Lord keeps putting AI in front of me. And not just because I tried to use it to make some really stupid pictures, but the first thing that I noticed, and I'm totally going all over the place here, but trust me, I'm just kind of throwing thoughts out tonight. But, notice how it's free. You don't think that there's a hook there somewhere? I mean, when anything's free, that's a little too good to be true, because they didn't create all this just so we can do funny pictures and stuff. There's something nefarious, and I think we all know that. And there's a lot of evidence to that I've been looking into this week. But let's get back to what we're talking about. May 28th. So it's come and gone. Very disappointing. But here's what I realized, and this is kind of like the world according to Karl. Okay, little nugget of wisdom. We once upon a time lived in an apartment that was connected to a commercial office building. And they had their alarm system and alarm bell. It was one of those bells like on a firehouse.
Very loud.
It's crazy loud. And it was on the bedroom, the master bedroom wall, but outside. It didn't matter. It vibrated the whole wall, and it was insanely loud. And they decided to put in these dumb motion, or they were actually like, I think they were infrared beam detectors, like outdoors, and they weren't very sophisticated, and therefore, like if a moth landed on it, it would go off. And we had a few nights where the thing would go off, and it would go off for 20 minutes, and then it would stay off. Like if the thing was still on it, it would reset and then go back into alarm a few minutes later, and run for 20 minutes, and then do just all night long. And I'm calling and calling, I can't get in touch with anybody because it's the middle of the night. And I'm like, Lord, why in the world is this happening? I got to get up early. I got to go in. I want to do my study. This was even, back then. I want to, I got to get work done, and I'm going to be dead tired. I can't go to sleep because this thing is so insanely loud, and you couldn't escape it. I mean, I'm thinking about going to a hotel, But anyway, so we go off all night long. So think about it. This is the wisdom part. The false alarm happened over and over and over. And what did it do? It kept me awake. So even though we're frustrated, we've got these dumb false alarms where it looks like things converge and then nothing happens, it's still keeping us awake, isn't it? We were told to be awake. Remember when Jesus came back to the 3 disciples in the Garden of Gethsemane, they were always asleep. We're supposed to be awake. And so think about it, if you are not awake, you are probably not really studying very much. And so we're studying and we're finding these things, and then it's like, okay, well, according to Ezekiel, I need to point this out. And people can look at it in 2 different ways. They can say, well, I'm frustrated because nothing's happened, and I feel, my emotions tell me that maybe this is all nonsense, and then they want to walk away. Well, that's on you. I mean, I don't know what else to say. If your faith is that weak and you walk away, you say, well, it's all nonsense. But for me, I keep digging, and I know you too keep digging, and we should all keep digging, and stay awake. Don't go back to sleep. Stay sober. Watch, wait, pray, and the most important thing is bear fruit during this time. If he's giving us more time, that's more time that we can increase the crop, basically, the harvest. So it's a good thing if we have more time, although I am definitely ready to,
Go.
Yeah, Lord, we're ready to go. But if you want us to be here a little bit longer, then so be it. So anyway, well, that's my little false alarm story. So yeah, the moral to the story is it does keep you awake. Now, if I'd gone to a hotel, that would have been me just going back to sleep and finding a way around it, basically. But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of technology. Going back to the mark of the beast, there's a lot of technology out there that it could be. And again, 100 years ago, nobody could have even imagined the things that we think is normal today. Like the chip in your debit card and how you can just scan it, or QR codes, all these different things. There's so many different options. So now we're not talking about like what could it be. We're talking about out of all the things we know about, which one of them or several of them will it be? And the nations. The focus on Israel and Jerusalem, the nations, raging against Israel, which is really against God's people. Nuclear war being discussed pretty much on a daily basis. I mean, we had the scare a little bit with Pakistan and India, and that's kind of died down. It doesn't mean it's not going to come back. I mean, everything can turn on a dime. And then we have the fear now, as if terrorism and all these other things weren't bad enough. Now we've got AI. And next week, God willing, we're here. I know next week is difficult because we've got graduations and all kinds of stuff going on. My son graduates next Thursday. But I really want to do a study about AI. I've been studying it from the Bible. And, you think just on the surface, well, AI is not in the Bible. Well, there happens to be this city named AI that Abram, at the time, he was 75 years old. So when God told him to leave his land and go to another land, and where he stopped was at the terebinth tree and all this, and basically he was on one side of him was I'm going to give just a little thumbnail sketch of this because I'm not that deep into it yet, but these are the things that catch my eye. Abram was 75 years old. Israel was 75 years old 2 years ago in 2023. Everyone says, and we witnessed it, 2023 was the outbreak of AI. So Abram traveled from Babylon, basically, the land of the Chaldeans, to AI. He built an altar between AI and Bethel. So just think about that as a quandary, okay? As a prophetic quandary. AI means heap of ruins. So on one hill you've got AI, which means heap of ruins. On another hill you have Bethel, which means house of God. And he's in the middle. Do you kind of see there's something going on there? Isn't that crazy? And so, did God intentionally make sure that this town was called AI for today? So when you think about he was 75 and Israel was 75 in 2023, is that a coincidence when AI became I'd never really talked about it, never really thought about it. My experience with AI would have been like seeing robots in movies. It seemed like they were autonomous,
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it's like, hey, you can enter questions and it gives you these intelligent answers and it's all free. Again, I don't know. But anyway, that's just a little sketch of what might be to come. So, what I wanted to do tonight is, first of all, as always, thank you to everyone. And first, I have to apologize, though. Thank you for all your comments last week or this past week. And although I have not been able to read but a handful of them because it's the end of the month, trying to make the rent, trying to get work done, trying to do my studies every morning, got a lot of extra things going with graduations and stuff like that. But anyway, I appreciate comments, I appreciate all your prayers, and I appreciate those who have decided to help support this because it makes a huge difference. It takes a lot of load off of my back. But yeah, I greatly appreciate it. And so this week, we've already discussed the May 28th. What do I want to say? The May 28th Great Disappointment. So, although, honestly, we didn't put all our eggs in that basket. It was just maybe because there seems to be a lot of stuff, but we're in the season and we're excited, so what are you going to do? But anyway, so what happened was, this was on, Tuesday, I think, when I posted the video from our last Porsches and Prophecy meeting. And then that very day, I did just that extra little video because it was really bothering me all day, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do it because again, it's the Ezekiel 33 thing. And so if that got a few people fired up and they went and preached the gospel a little bit more that day, then awesome, then that's good, then it was good. So, but anyway, it seemed to me like the little video, because it was the one done last, completely overshadowed the Song of Solomon video. So I don't know if you looked at the numbers, but it's like 14,000 views on the short one versus I think 2,000 maybe on the real teaching, the Song of Solomon teaching that we did, which I think is really important. So what I wanted to do is ask if you haven't watched the teaching on the Song of Solomon, which was an overview. It was a very condensed version, but it had a lot of good stuff in there, and I had 2 timelines going and everything. Please go back and watch that. I'm not going to redo it. But so what I did was I finished, I think I can pick this up. I finished my study, my writing on the Song of Solomon. As of when we were here last, it was 58 pages long, and now it's 67. So I finished it. I had to cut some things out of it, and it's not, I mean, this could have been several hundred pages, quite frankly. It could have been a book. So it's still abbreviated, but I think it's very important, and I want everybody that wants it, I want everybody to have it, to study it, because there's a lot of good stuff in here, a lot of timeline related stuff. So I sent an email to my friend Joe, who hosts our website, where there's a lot of documents and stuff and timelines on. He's out of town, so I haven't been able to get in touch with him, but I'm hoping that he can put this on the website. And if not, I have my email address, my secondary email address for my book, kind of my author email, which is just, I'll put it here on the screen for the video. But it's nkarllawley@gmail.com. If you send me an email, I'd love to send you the documents in a PDF form. So anyway, this is done, and this is what I did this week basically to finish this. So I didn't do a teaching, so to speak, this week because I had to finish this along with everything else. But also what I wanted to do is at the end of the video last week, we did the Job condensed little thing, okay? The little quick study on just some of the highlights that I've seen so far in the book of Job that I wanted to point out, because I don't think I will ever get to do the whole 42 chapters. If this is 67 pages for 8 chapters, imagine 42 chapters. And it would take me all summer to do it, and there's just, unless, Lord, I would do it, just so you know, I'll do it. But, I have other obligations, so God would have to make that happen somehow. But anyway, long story short, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to edit it out. It'll still be on there, but I'm going to make a separate video for it and post that maybe on this video. That way it's not so long, because if you've already watched an hour, you probably aren't really going to. Anyway, but thank you to the people who watched till the end, quite frankly. That's really good. So just briefly, because I'm working on, as I said, the study that I want to do on AI and how it interconnects with the Bible. I think the whole thing with Abram and 75 years old and being between a town called AI, which means heap of ruins, I think this is basically a choice. Our world right now is sprinting towards the finish line with AI, okay? As of yesterday, they're saying that AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is basically, what do they call that? That's when they reach the singularity. A singularity event, I wrote it down because I get confused with all these terms too. It's when AI surpasses human intelligence and capability, leading to an unknown future. So that's the singularity. They're saying that they are 94% there right now.
But isn't man the one that created the AI? Isn't man the one that created AI?
No, the way this works is they have created algorithms and basically set it in motion, but this is machine learning, and it's learning from all of the internet, and it's learning from everything. It's devouring data, basically.
Yeah.
So it's teaching itself how to even learn better, it's doing so much already. It's not just a cute little app on your phone to make silly pictures. That's the hook. They're going to get everybody addicted to this, and it's all just part of the game. So we're all like, yeah, bring it on. This is fun. Yeah, look, I did this picture, or I did this, or I didn't have to do my essay at school. I just had AI do it.
Yeah.
And then I just changed a few things so it didn't look like AI did it. And so I threw together real quick today a just a short list of the jobs that are about to be lost. They're saying that by 2027 you're going to see a huge loss of jobs in our country and probably worldwide. And we are literally sprinting towards this finish line. So think about it. The software developers that have built this, they are literally putting themselves out of work, because AI itself can create, recreate, and do better than they can, probably already.
Yeah.
And then so you've got the singularity with AGI, and then they've got ASI, which is artificial superintelligence. And from what I understand, at the point that AGI is done, and they're saying they're at 94%, and that's one company. There are many companies sprinting towards this finish line. And they look at it, and I think our government looks at it, because we're not really regulating it, as like, well, if we don't do it, then China will do it, and everybody else will do it, and we'll be left behind.
Yeah.
So we're kind of between a rock and a hard place. I mean, I think we're between Bethel and AI. We're between a heap of ruin or the house of God. And you can see how it fits on the timeline. So, I don't know, but here's a list of some of the jobs that are going to be lost. And they're saying, I just saw one report today that said 50% of job loss, like in major markets. So here's just a short list. Programmers putting themselves out of business. Teachers, professors, entry-level white-collar jobs like data entry and stuff like that. Now think about that one. So you get out of college, you got to start working somewhere, right? So you get this job, and that's how you get your foot in the door and you work your way up. Well, those foot-in-the-door jobs are no longer going to exist. Mm-hmm. So accountants, scientists, because AI is going to do science better. It's like constantly crunching things. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And whereas people need rest, and we need days off, and we need sick leave and all that, AI doesn't need any of that.
Yeah.
It's 24 hours a day. So accountants, scientists, data entry, writers, like authors and things like that, graphic designers. Who?
Preachers.
Preachers.
In France, I think, where they had an actual church where they just kind of gave this program,
Yeah.
like just a few words or lines or whatever.
I think they did that in Germany too.
Oh, or maybe that's where it was
Yeah.
at. And the AI was able to generate a whole sermon for people
Yeah.
to listen to.
It can do that in a flash.
Yeah.
Like, I could have been done with my 67-page thing, like
Yeah.
that, and it wouldn't have been there wouldn't have been any bad punctuation and spelling. So,
Yeah.
although I did edit it, and that took me some time too, because as I'm typing, I'm not thinking about that, so I had to go back and do that. So I don't look like a ding dong. Anyway, so computer graphic designers, routine jobs like research, things like that, movie crews, filmmakers. This stuff can make a movie. You can't tell the difference anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Musicians, you go on YouTube right now and you look up a lot like Christian whatever music, okay? A lot of the stuff that comes up is AI generated music. It's crazy. And you don't really know Now, they're not playing it on the radio yet, but that's only a matter of time. News anchors, stuff like that. Why do they need news anchors anymore? Why do they need to pay somebody to do that?
Yeah.
Designers, architects, engineers. So all of these good-paying jobs are just going to disappear. And so if you really stop and think about this, this is going to consolidate power into very few hands. Power and resources are all going to go into just a few hands, like maybe 10 that we know from Revelation. And, you know, then we get to the point where people are starving and revolting. So, and then you think, wasn't it Jesus in Matthew 24:22 that said, you know, if he didn't come back early, I'm paraphrasing, but if he didn't come back early, that no flesh would survive? This thing is going to kill us one way or the other. That's the other part of it that I haven't mentioned. AI, different people that are involved in the development and all of it, they have different statistics. But anywhere from like 20% to 50%, roughly, I've heard worse statistics, quite frankly, but that it's going to basically take over the world and kill everybody. So at best, they're playing Russian roulette with the world and with humanity. I mean, they're literally putting a gun to the human race with one bullet in the chamber and going click, maybe, click, maybe. It's only a matter of time. I mean, we live in this day when all of this is happening. Who would have figured? Except for God, there's this town in Israel that was called AI that kind of popped up out of nowhere. First time it's mentioned in the Bible is with Abram when he's 75 years old. Exactly when Israel was 75 years old, and all of a sudden AI popped onto the human conscious. Now I know they've been working on it for a long time before that, but it wasn't part of a conversation that normal people were having. You know, there was no such thing as apps and AI and all this kind of stuff doing these things. So anyway, there's a lot more to it, and of course Joshua. There's a whole story with Joshua and Caleb at AI and Achan's sin. I think I may have mentioned that before because this has kind of been on my radar for a while. And Achan's sin has some interesting numbers involved in it. So I don't know, things that I can plot on a timeline.
Even AI and farming, because before.
Oh yeah, well the tractors and stuff now.
Yeah, that, and then in Japan they already have like, I forget what it was called, but they have like a whole indoor farm that's vertical or whatever.
Yeah.
There's no humans that touch any of the plants that grow in there. The machines take care of the plants and everything. They move the plants right whenever they're ready to be harvested.
Yeah.
They move the plants, and then the only time that they're ever touched by humans is whenever they have to prep them to package them.
And robotics will eventually
Yeah.
take care of that too.
Yeah.
So, you know, so you've got a lot of the people who are involved in the development of this saying, oh, it's going to be a utopia.
Yeah.
Because we're just all going to have time and we're all going to get some kind of a basic, you know, a UBI as they call it. Or there's a new name out where they're trying to flower it up a little bit and basically say, oh, it's not a basic income, it'll be a good income. Like everybody will just have money.
Yeah.
Money for nothing and chicks for free. Wasn't that a song in the 80s? So basically that's where we're at. And so here we go with that quandary again. On one side, AI, but it's really a heap of ruins. That's what it leads to. Because what they want is what only Jesus can provide. Only Jesus as the Messiah during the millennial kingdom can this happen. Not under the rule of man or machine. It's not going to happen. And I honestly think that demons are going to be at play in AI. There's no doubt about that. Demons can inhabit pigs. Well, they can certainly inhabit this. So I think there's a lot more going on here than what people are talking about. And it's kind of scary. So basically, we're standing, I believe, we're like standing at the edge of the ocean, and we're looking at this perfect storm out there that's brewing. And we see it coming, and we know it's really close and it's about to hit. This is kind of where I believe we are. And we are right now excited and waiting because we know, just like after the 120 years from Noah, we know that the Lord is going to shut us in. It was 7 days for him, but 7 years for us, and where he and his family were safe and protected from the storm that was coming. And that's what's about to happen. And so for me, I'm excited. It wasn't this week. That would have been pretty great, but it's okay. Unless there's something just like really amazing, like wow, everything really converges. Again, I'm going to go back to just chilling out and not talking about days and all that, because, you know, it's fun to speculate, but outside of our group, like when we're just chit-chatting and whatever, you know, I mean, whenever the Father says, son, go get your bride, that's going to be good enough. But I do believe that if our calendars are all correct, roughly, you know, and based on the timeline that God put in the Psalms of Asaph, the Psalms of Ascent, and then the Neganoth timeline, and other timelines that we found now and there, it's soon, by all measures. Whether it's the Gregorian calendar with the Psalms of Ascent, or Israel's rebirth and their birth date on the Psalms of Asaph, everything lines up and everything is there. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back and watch some previous videos, because we go into a lot of detail on and show timelines, how all this works. And also, if you would, please purchase a copy of the book, because this is the backbone of everything that we talk about. And we are in the year, according to the timeline, that the tribulation starts, which means we have to be out of here pretty soon. And so, you know, when there's a convergence of things going on a certain date, and it's like, Lord, I see what you're doing there. But as we were talking about earlier, would God kind of put in a few breadcrumbs that, like, you know, we get excited about? Well, yeah, because the false alarm keeps us awake, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, and it's a test. We're watching, we're waiting, and we are being patient, but yet we're anxious, and we are awake, and we're going to stay awake. Okay, so I'm back. I forgot something that I really wanted to plug in about AI. This is one of the reasons why I started really researching it, and so we'd actually finished our whole conversation tonight, and then I remembered, oops, I had this video ready and queued up on my computer, and I forgot to do it. So doing this now, and I'm going to plug it in where it belongs. So here we go. Let me find it real quick. Okay, so watch this.
So this is Dr. Alan D. Thompson, and he's saying that we're going to enter the singularity sometime this year. In mid-2025, it's likely that we are already living through the early stages of the singularity, with new inventions and discoveries already being made by large language model systems in labs around the world. I'm getting a book later today by Karen Howe called Empire of AI. She has this article where she quotes a prominent AI researcher. Can you guess who it is? That person is quoted as saying, we're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI. Who is the person that said that? It's this person right here. It's Ilya Sutskever. We'll get to that in just a second. And according to Dr. Alan Thompson, he's saying that we're 94% of the way to AGI, and we're about to start unlocking the various things in ASI, artificial superintelligence. By the way, just within the last 24 hours, Aravind Srinivas, the founder and CEO of Perplexity, tweeted, "We are talking about AGI. We should be talking about ASI." But let's dive in. So this is the memo. This is written by Dr. Alan Thompson. It's on his Substack. I'll link that down below. Or you can just search the memo by lifearchitect.ai. All right, so let's unpack some of this because there's a lot going on here. So first and foremost, Karen Howe, so she has a new book out. I've ordered it. Hopefully I will have it later today. Amazon willing. But apparently Ilya Sutskever in the days of OpenAI in 2023 was saying that they're going to need a bunker before they release AGI. Why would they need a bunker? Well, because such a powerful technology would surely become an object of intense desire for governments globally. The core scientists working on the technology would need to be protected. And of course, it's going to be optional whether you want to get into the bunker or not. And there's a number of sources that have confirmed this and were saying that there is a group of people, Ilya being one of them, who believe that building AGI will bring about a rapture. Literally a rapture. Rapture in the Christian belief is the idea that the believers will at some point disappear, or sometimes it's described as a floating up to heaven. So depending on how you want to translate that concept, it could be kind of scary, because I mean, if you think of it as kind of going to heaven, then certainly this idea of AGI bringing about a rapture is a good thing. But a different way of thinking about it is some chosen people go up to heaven and some people remain behind and, on earth, and things get really, really bad. Times of tribulations. So depending on how you want to translate that, it could be kind of scary. I'm not sure exactly what he means other than, literally a rapture. Let me know in the comments what you think he meant by that. I'm very, very curious.
Okay, so what did you think about that video? It literally says, now I never thought about this, so we're kind of expecting them to come up with the aliens or whatever, that's what happened. But so if you read what he's saying and you see it there, he doesn't just say a rapture like ha ha, he then says literally a rapture, like literal. So is this maybe one of the things they're going to say? Because obviously we're not the only ones that know this is coming. And I've talked about it. I wrote about it in my book. There are many, New Age channelers and all these people that for decades have said there's a day coming when the earth is going to cleanse itself and many people are going to be mysteriously missing. And they're going to be beamed up to the mothership and they, go on to all this kind of crazy stuff. But this is setting up lots of different options for people to believe. And Satan is clever. He's like, he never just gives you one option. He gives you a plethora of options to choose from. And that's where the deception lies. So it's not just like, well, there's only one other option. Well, there'll be a lot of people saying, well, I think it's this or I think it's that. Well, it's really none of the above, because those are all the deceptions. So anyway, I thought that was fascinating. So not only is AI going to take everybody's jobs for those that are here, and they're going to be basically working for a loaf of bread, but don't touch the oil and the wine. All of this is in Revelation. So the wealthy are going to get wealthier, like we're talking the super wealthy, but everybody else is just going to be subservient, and that's where this is headed. This is a dystopian future, not a utopian future. That's only under Jesus as our Lord and King. So anyway, that's that. Okay, so we're done. We had a little extra talk here, which I'm going to just cut out because it's just chit chat. We'll try to keep this one short because it is very hot in here today. I think it's about 97 degrees, something like that. Sorry that the air, I wish I had air conditioning. The fan is on, so you'll hear that in the background. So this week, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is basically a combination of many of them that we have talked about in the past. Everyone watching this needs to have at least one person, if not a group of people that you are praying for, that you single out every day and you get on your knees and pray, Lord, please, I know this person, I know they're good, they're on the wrong road. They need to have you in their life. I'm praying for 3 people I don't know right now, because actually I'm praying for a lot of people I don't know. But specifically, I was given a card at that thing that we all went to, and there are three people mentioned on there. And a lady, it was the mom, she asked for prayer, and this ended up with me. Basically, that the Lord would become very real in their lives and that they would be saved before it's too late. And their names were Daniel, Matthew, and Brian. Those were her sons, and evidently they are not walking with the Lord. And so besides them, I've got a long list. Wow, it's a very long list of people that I'm praying for every day. And it's hard because there's so many names now, but there's, right off the top of my head, there's Lawrence and Calvin and just a multitude of people. And sometimes I have to lump them together. Lord, you know who they are, because I can't remember everybody's name, but I'm praying for them. I'm praying for them to be saved and to find that peace that only you offer. And praying also for the peace of Jerusalem, which means salvation, because peace only comes through Jesus. So that's that simple. And also, as I was going about my day today, trying to finish some things before tonight, I was thinking about, in fact, I was praying about it while I was in the car. I actually went to Family Dollar to buy this fancy shirt because all I had was a dirty work shirt. So I'm in the parking lot and I'm like, Lord, what do you want us to talk about for the mission this week? And the thing that came to my mind instantly is that if the restrainer lives in us, how are we restraining individually? Like, to look in the mirror and say, what am I doing to assist in the restraining of evil in this world? We were talking about AI, and like, did anybody ever ask you if you get to vote, like, yeah, AI, we want that, or no? No, we never got to vote on that, did we? So it's going to take over the world, basically, and we never got to vote on it. They're just doing it. But that's not my point. My point is that there are things that we can control, where we spend our money, the things that we watch, there's just so many ways that you can contribute to restraining evil in this world, or you can be part of the problem. If you're consuming your hours of your day watching things and whatever, and spending your money on things you shouldn't be, or even spending it with companies that are not good, that they're immoral, or they're teaching and preaching or funding organizations that are doing the opposite of God's will, we need to stop and think about that, because my wife and I, we have decided we're, as far as we're aware of, and we try to do our research, we're not doing that. We're not giving money, even like where we won't, and I don't want to sound legalistic, but when we can, we don't support businesses or organizations that we know are not good. I'll just leave it at that. You got to figure out who those are, because I'm not gonna name names. But anyway, that's it for this week. So please stand by for the little mini thing that we did on the book of Job. It's very good. It's very important, and it will be eye-opening. And God willing, one day I'll do the whole teaching. It'd probably be a very big book, but I don't think we have that much time. So God bless you. Thank you again for all your prayers and support. And we will see you next time, either here or there. And I'm hoping it's there. Take care.